How am I supposed to trust you? You got me locked up when I told you the truth about Kane.
Tariq, I know how this looks. But I need you to know I had no part in this. You and me both know who it is.
I saw you, Tariq. You tried to kill our mother.
D, what the fuck are they talking about? Tell them what happened.
You almost killed me too.
So I had this idea for like Power Book 2 Go Season 4 when it comes down to like everything that happened like regarding with the whole Tejada family and Tariq and everything that just kind of like went down, right? And I was thinking, I was like, you know, like both like Dru and Diana's plans is already dead in the water. It's basically dead in the water at this point, because the one thing that they failed to capitalize and realize about the whole situation regarding like both Tariq and Monet sees Tariq somewhat as a son that she always wanted, and their relationship like hinges on that. And the one thing that they didn't quite understand was that they're dealing in their understanding when everything that happened in the last season where Kane tried to like frame Tariq using like Ramirez's badge and planting it in his dorm room, and when Tariq found out and he was just like, wait, did Monet have something to do with this, and he confronted her about this on the phone, and that's when she was like she had nothing to do with it, and she's gonna straighten Kane out because Kane did that because of his jealousy towards Tariq and because of the manipulations that Mecca was you know, doing towards him. So it does make you wonder, like, okay, like what's gonna happen when she get out of the hospital, because there's gonna be a lot of questions, there's gonna be a lot of answers that she's gonna be asking. And obviously right now, like, the prime suspect is Tariq. And everybody's gonna be gunning for Tariq to be like, well, you was the one to have shot at Monet. But after everything that had happened, is that, you know, Monet is gonna look at Tariq as well to be like, well, did he do this? Because in her mind, she might still believe that he tried to come after her anyway, despite her not saying she really had nothing to do with the whole trying to send in Tommy after Tasha. She had nothing to do with it, which was a complete misunderstanding. But they used it as, well, they wanted to have Tariq get rid of her, which I'm kind of hoping somebody picks this up on, which I hope that either, because I don't see Kane picking this up. I think it's gonna really be Monet that's gonna pick this up to be like, wait a minute, like you try to have Tariq do this. But I mean, at the time it was motive and they knew it was motive. But I think in the next season we're gonna see like unlikely enemies become allies, and I think the only person that's gonna be in Monet's corner is gonna really be Kane, because Kane was really emotional about, like, you know, Monet and about like who actually tried to shoot at her, despite everything that Monet did, like, you know, having Lorenzo killed and, you know, threatening, like semi-threatening Kane about everything. And at the end of the day, it's still his mom, and he would be extremely heartbroken that she was to be gone. So to find out that Tariq had nothing to do with it, and to find out it's gonna be, you know, Dru and Diana, they both are gonna be fucked at this point. Because I think in the next season, Monet is gonna look for Tariq. I think there's gonna be an olive branch that's gonna be extended towards Tariq, like a sort of trust thing, to be like, okay, they're gonna talk first. I mean, there's gonna be guns pointed, and there's gonna be some really heated, you know, stuff that's gonna happen. But I think that there's gonna be like an olive branch that's gonna be reached out towards Tariq to be like, okay, like what happened? And I'm thinking Tariq is gonna need a fall guy for this. I don't know who's gonna be the fall guy, but Tariq is gonna definitely need like a fall guy for this, to be like, well, somebody did it to, you know, somebody tried to kill you guys and it had nothing to do with him. So we're gonna have to see in next season who's gonna be the fall guy and who's gonna be the one to have like take the rap for trying to kill Monet. Because I'm thinking, like, if Monet looks at it as, like, well, maybe I would say, let's say 3 possibilities, where you would look at it as, right, Tariq is the prime suspect. Then you would argue, you could say Noma, because despite Noma was so desperately trying to, you know, figure out, like, who was Mecca's killer, which kind of, like, defeats a little bit of the purpose towards the ending, but then it wouldn't make sense because business is business at the end of the day, and you wouldn't want to squander business over feelings. So I can understand why she allowed Monet to live, but what if Monet decided to be like, well, maybe she changed her mind on that, right? What if it was a whole ruse? So you would have that as the second option, and then the reasonable third option would be both Dru and Diana, because they didn't fall in line the way how Kane fell in line. Because when Kane was talking to Monet about it, and he was just like, they really messed up about it, and that's when she was saying, oh, they'll come around. But it's like, I think Kane is going to be the one in her corner for like the next season, because as of right now, it's like, yeah, you're going to be seeing like both Dru and Diana on their best behaviors. But the one thing that's also going to like foil the plan is Effie, because you're going to have Effie on the team. And despite Effie still having maybe feelings for Tariq, we don't know now because of the whole shootout that happened at the warehouse. But you can argue there's still feelings there. Despite, you know, Kane saying, oh, I want to pick up the pieces and I want to be the man that takes over things and bees with her, even though he's a big simp for that. But I think that if Effie overhears some things, or she picks up on certain things that even what Diana would be saying, or what Dru might be talking about, anything, any little hint, you can argue. You can argue that there's a possibility that Effie could be the one on the inside. She could probably be the one that's on the inside. Now, I'm not saying that she would. I mean, she is a possibility though, at this point, that she could probably flip and be like, well, Tariq did help me, even though it was kind of like, you know, it was really to benefit everybody. It was basically to like benefit everybody, but he still helped her. He didn't have to, but he helped her anyway. And I don't know, I feel like Effie could owe him a favor if she get a glimpse of what either with Dru, or what Diana is actually saying. That's what I think. That she probably, and if she sends out some sort of information, because that's what it really is going to stem down to, is really the information, to being like, okay, did Tariq do it or not? Despite everybody claiming that he did, but I think that Monet is going to reach out to be like, okay, I need to hear this from Tariq himself, or I need to see if Tariq actually did this. And once when she like gets the confirmation that Tariq had nothing to do with it, and he wasn't the one to have done it, then it's going to make things even more worse for them, because now it's going to be like, okay, she can't fully trust Tariq because she still wouldn't believe if he still did it or not. But seeing how like this entirety of power, they kind of ran on some sort of agreement. There wasn't like too much fuck shit that happened, and she wasn't like really dishonest or distrustful with Tariq. She always kept things with Tariq like 100%, and that's what's going to be the failure in Diana and Dru's plans, is that she always kept things 100 with Tariq. She didn't do any like too much slimy shit. To my knowledge, to my memory, she hasn't like done anything slimy. Like, sure, she probably sent like, you know, at the time of like in the first season with Power 2 Ghosts, okay, having like Dru and Diana go spy on Tariq, go pick up some sort of information on Tariq. That the shit that happened in season 2 of, you know, not having him, you know, go to the court case to like, you know, try to get Yaz and stuff, right? Little minor hints, but it wasn't anything too severe. And she always kept like that line and sincerity with Tariq. Like, if you do any fuck shit, you will die, which Tariq hasn't. That's why he's been on his best behavior at this point. But for him to like go off script, that's not like Tariq, and that's not in his character, which I think that's going to be the one driving point that's going to completely destroy Dru and Diana's whole case of, yeah, Tariq actually did this, and which is going to crumble. And like I said before, like the unlikely enemies that's going to join forces. I think Kane is going to be pissed off, but he's going to have no choice but to side with Tariq on this. That's what I think. Despite him hating him and wanting his girl, well, he have her now, but you know, he's going to have no choice but to side, because if the evidence comes out and everybody comes to conclusion that Tariq really had nothing to do with it, then you're going to most likely see Kane and Monet siding on Tariq with this and be like, Tariq had nothing to do with it. And now, here's my thoughts. Next season, I don't know. Dru and Diana, I don't know, because that failed hit on Monet and what they tried to do, I don't know. Everybody in the comment section down below, like, do you honestly believe that Monet would actually let it go? Like, do you think she would just let it slide to know that 2 of her kids try to have her killed? Or do you think there's going to be some sort of retaliation towards that? That's what I'm thinking. Like, because I'm like, come on now. Like, they tried to do it, and they being real coy about it. And like, well, we're going to use Tariq. And the evidence is, like, literally right there. The same thing that she did to Lorenzo with the whole Gordo situation where, you know, she told Evelyn, and then Evelyn told Gordo. Or she told Gordo, and then that's when Gordo killed Lorenzo. And then they tried that same plan, but it failed. And Natasha was the one to intervene to shooting Monet. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, okay. Again, they still going to need a fall guy for that to be like, to have Monet go after. Because we all know Tariq isn't going to give up his mom. And that shit is never going to happen. But like I said before, there's going to be something that's going to drive a wedge between their plans. And it's going to completely fall apart. This is why I'm saying, it's like you have Effie. And the thing about Effie, she's always going to be out for herself. So if an opportunity arises where she can get to maybe, I don't know, a better position, or she can further herself even more, why not take the risk or the chance to expose them for something? Because again, you know, despite everything that had happened, you know, because obviously, like, you're going to look at it like this, like, Dru and Diana, they're not going to really care too much, but they're going to be like, whoa, like, wasn't she with Tariq? Like, what's going on now? I mean, for now at the end, but I mean, going forward, it's going to be like some sort of, you know, animosity. And here's the thing, too. This is why I said it's going to kind of not make any sense as well, because Effie going to look at Diana and be like, wait a minute, but didn't y'all have a thing? You know, like, you was, and then was she, I mean, come on, she going to probably come up with something, but then it's just going to fall apart. All of this that they doing is just going to fall apart. But I'm telling you, man, like, next season is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. And also, too, comment down below that, do you believe in some sort of point in time, or some sort of, do you believe in some sort of point in time that, will we ever see like a Tasha versus Monet? Will we ever get a chance to see that? Because I'm curious. I'm kind of curious, like, will we ever get to see that? Because Tasha, she pulling out fucking guns at the end. I'm like, oh, shit. Like, Tasha, what you doing? This was supposed to be Tariq's job, like, way later. Way later, when he get into a higher position of power, where he be like, I don't need them anymore. I'm going to kill them. But it's just speeding things up a bit, where eventually we was going to get the whole Tejada family versus Tariq. It was just a matter of time of how was it going to happen. But now it's under, like, something false that he didn't really do, then it's going to make things even worse, because now, going forward, as I said before, Tariq and Brayden's on the run. Everything is looking at Tariq because he was responsible for shooting at them both. But again, I think the one thing that Monet is going to really see into Tariq, like, yeah, Tariq, he can get the job done, but the way how she knows Tariq, she's going to be like, this isn't Tariq. Why would Tariq do this? Why would he try to kill us both in the car? That's not like him. That's not in his character, you know. And we know it's not in Tariq's character, because Tariq is a little, you know, like, it's not in his character to do this. So that's what I'm saying. It's like their plan is gonna fall apart, because if Tariq wanted to, like, really kill them, then Tariq would have strategized some sort of plan to kill all of them simultaneously, rather than, like, take them apart. You know, that's the whole gist of it. Like, I think that's what it, like, stems down to, if Tariq really wants to get rid of them. Not, like, take two of them apart, and then, no. That's not how it's done. So, yeah, man. Like, strategically, when you really think about the story and the setup of how it's done, it's like, there's a way to get to somebody, or to get to a whole group of them without, oh, I'm going to get one, or I'm going to get the other, you know. So, yeah, that's what it's going to, like, really stem down to. But let me know in the comment section down below, or what do you think of, you know, everything that's going to happen in season 4, and regarding, like, Monet having, like, basically 3 people in mind of who could have potentially have done it, but the only strong candidate who really wanted her gone was really, like, Diana and Dru, and she's going to see it right there because of maybe a certain way of how they acting, or a certain way that they moving, and she's going to pick up on this. Because keep in mind, as I said before, I kind of, like, look down on Monet just a little bit. I look down on her just a little bit, like, she probably won't be able to catch on, or but no. Like, this woman, you know, she's smart, been around the game for a while, so she's gonna pick up on the little things. So they're gonna have to do their best. They're gonna have to be on their best behavior to not make it seem like they didn't have nothing to do with it, but in reality, they did have something to do with it. But she's gonna need help to uncovering the truth on her own. So again, like I said, and if there's cameras or any sort of, I don't know, like if there's something, well, as I said before, there's going to be word of mouth and there's going to be evidence, and the only person who I think that's going to be around is going to be Effie. And if she hears anything, picks up on anything or whatever, then she also might be the one to have told Tariq, like, well, you know, this and that happened or whatever. That's what it's going to really stem down to, because the truth is going to come out in season 4 that it was really Diana was the one to have sent out the letter, and she was the one that tried to have Tariq kill Monet. So everything is looking bleak for Tariq, but everything is damn sure not going to be looking good for both Dru and Diana for next season. So it's just going to be a matter of time until the truth comes out. But yeah, comment down below, like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I catch you all in the next one.